A perfect example is things that, like, I always tell my clients, I match on character. Our characters are our morals, ethics, and values.
So, what if you work with a client and he or she is so stuck on the superficial stuff? How do you get them over the hump where they realize, you know what, these little superficial stuff doesn't matter? Like, key life values matter the most. Like, how do you get them to see the bigger picture?
Well, luckily for me, I have been married so long that I actually have a lot of stories. So I use my own stories. A perfect example is things that, like, I always tell my clients, I match on character. Our characters are our morals, ethics, and values. That is set by age 7. The end, you're done. Psychology tells us this. There's nothing else you're going to do. That's your character. Congratulations, your parents are they've completed their job. From that point on, the only thing that's going to shift is personality. So, personality is something though that can change throughout our life based off of so many different factors. Our peers, classmates, coworkers, friend groups at the time, boyfriend or girlfriend or spouse that we have at the time. Um, Even like learning something new. You can read a book and change your mindset about something. You can fall down a rabbit hole that you never thought you'd ever fall down, and it can change your whole personality. And that's why people put so much emphasis on things that are ever changing, that shift throughout our lives. For example, when I met my husband and we were in our 20s and we got married, he was actually an atheist. In June of 2021, he had a heart attack and he is now a practicing Christian. What if I would have said, "Oh, I'm not going to marry somebody who isn't a Christian?" What if I would have said that like back then? But he is now. So once that's an example of how one impactful traumatic circumstance can change part of your personality. So I think that single people put a lot of emphasis on things that can change and that are ebb and flow. So I talk with them about that and say, don't do that. Let's focus on character.